the wife be my girlfriend. Got no wife, but the wife be my girl. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. I don't know what y'all been told. Show it low back on the map, what's up? That's what happening. And you know I keep flirt. 17.5, same color t-shirt. So what's happening? I'm the man, bitch, I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. I'm hustling. Got units in the city. If you want it, come and get it. Work, whoa. Bitch, I'm the man. I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Got no wife, but the wife be my girl. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Bitch, I'm the man. I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Bitch, I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. Don't look surprised, they can't hold me. I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm hard to lock up. You can beat me, still hard to lock up. Hit the west side, I made them stand up. CEO, Colonel, whatever they call me. Niggas can't wait, they'll be. They done got fat, it's that time, Jenny Craig. Now they show it low back. Oh, made them stop that, they didn't want that. People will make them suckers lean back, way back. Cause I'm the man, yeah, bitch, I'm the man. Catch me in the club, popping rubber band, cause I can. I like to stun a lot, see me in the parking lot. 645, the roof gone, yeah, I drop the top. Bitch, I'm the man, I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Bitch, I'm the man, I'm the man. I'm the man, I'm the man. Bitch, I'm the man, I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Got no wife, but the wife be my girl. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. The cars, the hoes, the life I chose. The ice is froze, my flow is cold. I'm hot for show, you know it's low. I been getting money way back in 94. The bass, my trap, and you know it be on fire. Before hell ain't get money, that's a motherfucking lie. Already got money, can't you look at me, dummy? I'm laced head to toe. Look how the way your whole show. Bankroll, unfold, I made it rain on them ho. Oh, fold, double on them ho. Bubba Kush, I blow, leave the smell on your clothes. I'm getting money in the hood and they already know. Whoa, bitch, I'm the man, I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Got no wife, but the wife be my girl. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend.
We got London on the track.
Whoa.
On the track.
Yeah, man, TIP in this motherfucker with me, niggas. To the max with it. Rex.
I count 6 shots.
Bustin' out the bando. A nigga jury real metal like a piano. I went from rag to riches to a 50 with tip. I went from smart car to a bitch with some smart lips. And that Epiphany make my hip limp. I'm going fishing with these little bitty strip dips. And my bankroll kinda big dip. Woo. She gon' bring it on a big ship. Quite trail, no quick trip. I got dubs in the alley, no tip. Yeah. She just wanna have a good day. Smoke way more weed than the guy in LA. I hold them birds till next May. Never let them fly away. What? Hey. Listen what my nigga Tip say. Hey. Yeah.
Don't be blowing me up, nigga, I ain't getting up.
If it ain't about the money,
Ain't no use to you ringing my line, stop wasting my time.
if it ain't about the money,
Nah, I can even hear what you say, I ain't finna do shit.
if it ain't about the money, bitch, you can miss me with it. Bitch, nigga, miss me with it. Turn it.
I pack in 11, I pack in 11. Boom. I'm riding in the gator, my shoes are just 7. I'm slime like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Hey. Bands out the grocery store, they stuff with lettuce. Hey. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. Hey. When it's about time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches.
What you think we in the neighborhood for? Standing at the corner store with a pocket full of dough. I be damned if a nigga wipe a hood hoe. Learned that from UGK, back a pocket full of stone. With your money down like a buck of hard folk. You playing with it, I'ma send them through your car door. My wife flooded shit sick, got Bravo. I'm doing it for black and yellow, free hardo. The head honcho, nigga, no tonto, nigga. I'm quick to put some bricks in a Bronco, nigga. Nigga talk shit while I don't respond at all, nigga. No murder, no dough, no combo. Don't be blowing me up, nigga, I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. If it ain't about the money, nah, I can't even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. If it ain't about the money, bitch, you can miss me with it. Bitch, nigga, miss me with it. Turn it.
I pack an 11, I pack an 11. Boom. I'm riding in the gator, my shoes are just 7. What they say? I'm slime like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Hey. Hands out the grocery store, they stuff with lettuce. Hey. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. Hey. When it's about time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches. Hey.
What you think we in the neighborhood for? Standing in the trash like good blow. Yeah, made baby, you slang that crack. Brian stole the car while he bang that act. If you ever took a law, better bring that back. Catch you with your picture, he gon' blow your brain back there. Hey, better be on your bad behavior when address me.
Language may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Not gonna hold you guys long tonight. How's everybody doing? Shout out to Great Polo. Shout out to all the MGMs. The Aspen Rolling. It's D Walk. Shout out to all the moderators. Ken Hooten, Marcellus Richardson. What's going on? Rich Jew in the building representing the
Chicago
crib. Big Hearn, what up? South Louisiana in the building. St. Louis, what up? What up? Y'all see 4 days ago, racist. Hey man, listen. Hey man, what's known don't need to be explained, man. C Express, what's going on? Shout out to Never Been Short. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. James Salmon, what's going on? Moving Company Hustle, what's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing good. Just came to cook up real quick with y'all for a hot minute. We're gonna see if we can keep this one an hour and a half, man. I wanna keep this one a little short. You dig what I'm saying? Make it real digestible for people to watch and come back and watch the replay later in this, what I'm calling a Box Truck 101 series. You know, Box Truck content, I did an analysis earlier today. I just wanted to look to see. Well, I already know. I could tell what the sentiment is just by the viewership. But I wanted to do a comparison, and I just looked at a lot of some of the main box truck channels, what I would consider some of the heavy hitters as far as content creation, as viewership, statistics, and it's just down across the board. So it just lets me know where the sentiment is right now with box trucking. But I figured that, you know, the popularity has diminished. People are not interested in the industry as they once were. And the people that are around are the people that are trying to figure things out or trying to grow their business. There is a small amount of people still looking to get in the business. That's why I'm going through and just recycling some things that I might have touched on 2 years ago and just kind of freshening it up a little bit, making it a little bit condensed and a little bit more digestible, and hitting things from a different angle, so that it can be comprehended from different audiences. So come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button. Goat Logistics in the building. All right, so tonight I want to talk about cash is king. All right, now this can be debatable. All right, this can be debated. You know, to each his own. I know a lot of people like this credit thing. All right. You listen, if you've been following my content for the past couple years, you've never seen me even, really deep dive into. I've talked about business credit, business lines of credit, things of that nature. And tell, I give people the truth about what a lot of people think. Well, I'm gonna go get this line of credit. I'm gonna go get a credit card, and I tell people, well, I'm gonna go get this business bank loan, and I tell people, yo, the bank ain't even gonna talk to you because your business is not old enough. You're too new. This, that, and the third. But I've never really had a live stream where I've spoken on the differences between, a business being credit heavy or a business being cash heavy, right? So I'm going to talk today from the cash side, right? And I want to talk about why cash is king, right? Now, if you've been following the channel, right, and you know my journey in box trucking, then you obviously know that I went the cash route. You know that I bought a truck, I paid cash for it. I bought another truck, I paid cash for it. I bought another truck, I paid cash for it. Majority of my trucks, all right, majority of my fleet, except for 2 vehicles, was purchased outright, right? Now, I want to tell you why cash is king. I believe cash for a small business is the key to success. A lot of people get caught up on this whole credit narrative, right? But I'm going to tell you why for a small business, cash is king. Now, this could be debated. You can go do what you want to do. I'm telling you what worked for me. I'm telling you what has worked for other people I know. I'm telling you what worked for people that I see as far as some of the most famous people that you guys listen to and follow. Cash is king, all right? The younger generation, it's all about credit. But a lot of the young generation, a lot of people that follow this credit narrative, especially starting a small business, they ultimately fail. And I'm going to explain to you why they fail. And I'm going to explain to you why people that follow old school methods such as cash is king grow and thrive, right? All right, so I didn't do a PowerPoint, but I did jot a bunch of stuff down in my notebook, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some bullet points in my notebook on why cash is king, why I believe that's the key to success. Cash liquidity is imperative. Cash is king, right? Cash is the first line of defense, I should say, for unforeseen incidences for your business, right? Whenever your business, which most small businesses do, you have unforeseen situations. And what happens is a lot of the businesses, especially small businesses that come in with just enough money, they don't have cash flow, right? They don't have cash flow. Their business hasn't accrued enough cash flow. They've actually grew their business. They've grew their operational costs beyond what, their cash flow or their liquidity is, right? So for example, 50% of most small businesses only have about 15 working days of cash liquidity. Did you guys know that? About 50% of small businesses only have 15 days or less of cash liquidity. So that's about 2 weeks. That's about 2 weeks, all right? That's about 2 weeks of cash flow that they could sustain in case anything happens, any unforeseen situations, if the truck breaks down, if, let's say they lose a contract, let's say you're running 3PL and you have one truck and let's say they lose the contract, so you lose it by default, and now you're, looking for another contract, and obviously, that takes time. There was a person that came up the other day and said it took him 2 months just to get with RXO. The whole onboarding process took 2 months. It takes time. Yeah, you can, willy-nilly on some of the gig apps and some, under the table jobs here and there, but that's not really consistent. And when you're running a 26-foot box truck, it's not like running a cargo van. You can probably sustain with a cargo van doing smaller gig stuff. It's a little bit more difficult to sustain a 26-foot box truck business running off the apps. All right. Now, if you're into the moving thing and you have a team and a crew and it's moving season's a possibility that you can sustain for a short period until something that's more dedicated or consistent comes along, if the moving thing isn't what you want to do on a consistent basis. All right. So that's one of the main reasons why you want to have cash. Now, somebody say, okay, well, I got credit. Okay, well, what happens if you max out your credit? And this is what happens with a lot of small businesses. They come in, right? They go out and they get a business credit card, right? And they immediately, it doesn't take them long to max it out. Why? Because they don't have any cash, right? All their cash has been spent, right, just to enter into the business. I see it happen time and time and time and time and time again. And we've seen people come up on the show, on the call-in show, and well, how much money? I don't have any money, but I got this amount of credit, but that's pretty much maxed out, right? And then that credit card, you got to pay that back. So now you have no cash. Your credit is almost to the max. So that means you pretty much have nothing. Because you've built a business, you started a business where your operational costs have exceeded your cash liquidity. And when these unforeseen situations come, you have no money in the coffers. You have no money. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul since they sent you that authority. You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul since that day. See, I'm from the old school, right? Credit to me is good, but credit to me is just something that you have in the kitty. That's just like something you have tucked away. I've always had business lines of credit. Rarely touch them. Rarely touch them. I feel like, if I can't pay for it, then maybe we don't need it. See, what happens with a lot of people that get business, and let's say they do survive a couple of years, and then they start getting these offers, right? Starts off small, 10, 25, 50, 100,000, hard money business lines. Some of them hard money, some of them business lines of credit, right? From third parties, may not be from a traditional bank, right? They get excited, and what happens is they start applying for them. And some of these hard money lenders, some of these, third party lenders like your OnDecks and your Crediblies and Cabbage when they were around, so on and so forth. You send them your 6 months of your business bank statements, and they'll give you a business line of credit, or let's say a hard money loan, and they'll base it off your receivables, right? So basically they're using your future receivables, right? Based off your past 3 or 6 months, right, of statements. They're using your future receivables as collateral, right? And a lot of people fall for this. They fall for this, right? So they'll go and they'll see this 100,000, and then they'll get this $100,000 business line of credit, and they'll use their future receivables as collateral, or they'll get this hard money loan or this daily debit loan, which is one of the worst things you could do as a small business owner, because it sucks the liquidity. It's almost like a leech. Those daily debit loans, it's shit like a leech. You got money coming in, and every day, whoever you got that daily debit loan from, you see them every single day, Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday, taking whatever the agreed amount is out. It sucks away from your cash flow. It sucks away from your bottom line. That's why most of the people that get those loans, they suffer. They shrivel up and die. It's like a leech. You sucking the life out of you every single day. They make it seem like it's easy because they're taking a smaller amount, but they're taking it every single day, Monday through Friday, except holidays. It's the worst thing you can do. But people that fall for this are people that are in desperate situations because they've created a business where their overhead has exceeded their liquidity. And ultimately, they succumb to their ignorance and they fail. Their ignorance is not a bad thing. It's just not knowing. So now they get this $100,000 business line of credit or this $100,000 loan from this third party company because they need it. And what do they go do with it? They don't have any cash. They apply for that because they needed it. What do they do with it? They start spending it. They start spending it, and most small business owners are still ignorant, right? Ignorant, not a bad thing, just lack of knowing. And then they keep spending it. They keep spending it. They think now, okay, now we can go out and get the tires. Now we can go out and get all the things that they needed. Little expansion here. Because now they think that now we have an infusion of capital, business is going to turn around. Wrong. You just created more debt. Each dollar that you spend from that high interest loan, from that hard money loan, or from that hard money business line of credit, or for that hard money daily debit, every dollar you spend, you just increased your operational expenses. If you're running OTR, you just add it to your cost per mile because you have to pay it back. You didn't make things easy. You just made things harder, to be honest with you. And it's debatable. How many people during the pandemic got a PPP loan? It might have been forgiven. And check this out. This is a great case study. You had people that got PPP loans during the pandemic. Loan that was forgiven. Created a business, already out of business. They got free money to start a business and are nowhere to be found. Why? Because they took that money, they invested into something that they didn't understand. They spent the money and didn't have any cash flow to operate the business. They went out and got business lines of credit, business loans. They jumped in because volume was here and the rates were here and their operational costs exceeded the cash liquidity. How did my story go? Those that have been following me for a long time. Started with a pickup truck. What I had didn't cost me anything. I used what I had. First job helped me get fuel, pay the guy. Second job, in pocket. Third job, in pocket. Continue to do that until I realized, hey, if I go rent a bigger truck, I can cut, time down and do more jobs and charge more. All while I'm doing this, my operational costs are minimal. I'm making money. I'm stacking money. I add on. Now you're running 3 Penske trucks. I get licensed. I start buying. My first truck, I bought cash. Why? I had the capital. A lot of people say, well, what's the key to your success? How did you grow so aggressively? One of the keys was the fact that I used cash. I had cash. I understood that cash was king. I didn't jump out the window and I'm going to get to that. All right, so unforeseen situations arise. You want to make sure that you have cash on hand. This is one of the main keys to why cash is king for a small business. All right. The larger the cash flow, the more sustainable the business. The more money you have, the more sustainable you are. The less money you have, the more chances that when something does arise, because it's only a matter of time, there's something coming up. You don't know when, but something's going to happen that's going to be a setback, whether it's a minor setback or a major setback. That is eventually going to happen in business. Now, if you have cash flow because you've scaled or you're growing at a pace that you're growing comparable to your cash liquidity, and that's one thing. But a lot of people jump out the window and they want to speedball. And the thing is, they want to speedball the business, but the money that's coming in isn't running at the same pace as how they're spending the money as far as building what the operational cost is, so to speak. So the operational cost and the way they're trying to run and build a business is running 50 miles an hour, but the cash flow that's coming in, the revenue that's being generated that's coming in is only running 25 miles an hour. So the revenue coming in is running at half the speed of the operations. Well, Mark, how can a person increase operation? The money ain't coming. Simple. Using credit, using money, other people's money that they don't have, seeing shit that they really don't need and they just want to buy it just because. Oh, well, man, I need some new gloves to pump the gas because this glove got a little hole in it. So you really can't afford it. Or doing things like this, you not being conscientious of, where you fuel up. Well, you know what? This fuel station is X amount of dollars, but if I travel another 10, 15 miles, I see that the fuel 10, 15 miles down the road, which I got enough fuel to make it, is about 30 cents less a gallon. Not doing what's best for the business. Paying yourself too much money. Why? Because you're robbing from the sustainability of business, because your living cost is X amount of dollars. You're not delaying your gratification. Listen, when you start in a small business, there's going to be some sacrifices got to be made. Something got to get neglected at the beginning. Something has to get neglected. Who told you you were supposed to be living a life of rally? You ain't made it to that point yet. Something got to get neglected. A good business person is going to neglect something that's not a priority, right? Here's the thing, and people have their own sayings and they got their own order of operation or their own, level of priorities. But me personally, and I think what another keys to my success is I always put God first, right? Because without God, none of this would be possible. Then I put the businesses, then everything else. Because everything else, if I put it before the business, that means I'm prioritizing everything before the business, and the business is what takes care of everything that's under it. How can I prioritize everything up here if the business takes care of this? If the business takes care of this, how can I put it over the business? It doesn't make sense. I hear some people say, yeah, God, then family, then business. And everybody that tells me that, I don't see them growing. I see them fail. And I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not lying to you. Take it. Listen, it could be debatable. But here's the thing. If you are a business owner and your business is the bread and butter, the business has to sustain, and you have to pay yourself enough. The business has to pay you enough so that you could take care of whatever it is at home. If you don't invest the time into the business so that you can ensure that the business can make enough money to sustain and that you can increase your payroll or your salary for yourself so that you can live this certain type of lifestyle that you want to live, tell me how it makes sense if you're not spending the time in the business to get it to that point. That's why I always put the business before everything else. And it showed. You got my number, call me. Let me know. I always got an earpiece in my ear. I can multitask. Why? Because I have to increase my cash flow. In order for me to increase my cash flow so I don't have to depend on credit or business lines of credit, I have to neglect everything else and prioritize the business. Because by me prioritizing the business, all I see is cash flow increasing. When you prioritize everything else is getting, is taking the time, right? Whatever it be, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you prioritize over the business, it's taking time away and the business is getting neglected. If you are the business owner and the business is new, then there has to be time with the business. You have to nurture the business. You have to grow the business, and you're going to spend most of that time growing and nurturing the business at the beginning. Same thing like raising a kid. You nurture the kid from the infancy to the toddler to grade school to high school, and eventually you instill everything in that child of yours so that one day, you know, they take all those life lessons that you've instilled and those morals and those values, and they go out into the world on their own, and they're able to sustain on their own, just like the business does. I say it all the time. And then one day, the business is going to reward you, and it's going to keep rewarding you for all the time that you've invested into it. Your children are going to reward you with going out in the world, taking all those morals and values that you've instilled in them as you raise them, and they're going to repay you by going out in the world and being successful, right? And being a model citizen. And then when you get old and you can't, you know, take care of yourself no more, then that's when they come back and take care of you. It's the same thing. You can build your cash flow up by investing more time into your business. All those people during the pandemic that got that PPP, they got free money, got it forgiven, and failed. Why? They took all the money invested in the business and had no cash flow. They took all the money invested into the business. What was left over, they spent it on dumb shit. They didn't have any cash flow. They used all the credit lines that they got. They used the business credit cards that they got. And then when things started to turn, when things started to correct themselves, right, there was no cash flow. They had no cash. I talked to people that came in because the money was so good. They were going to Ryder. They were going to Penske. They was renting 2 and 3 and 4, 5 trucks. Amazon kept saying, can you bring in more trucks? Can you bring in more trucks? They took all this opportunity not knowing a thing about the industry. So their operational expenses were up here. Yeah, because the volume was there, right, to provide them that opportunity. But they didn't have the cash flow. So when things arose, that credit didn't take them far. That got maxed out. And once the credit got maxed out, that was the end of it. Slow and steady wins the race. This is why cash is king. It's debatable. It's debatable. Every truck that I bought cash recouped within 30 to 45 days. And in the next 30 to 45 days, it generated that same amount of money to go out and acquire another vehicle. I still own 2 trucks that's just been sitting. Why? Because I bought them out cash. I don't. One thing about having cash flow is that when problems arise and when things happen, you don't worry. I've never had to worry. This is why I can be laissez-faire still to this day. I don't worry about the what ifs and when things arise because I know they're going to happen. That's why we make sure we got enough money socked away so that when these things do arise, we just get them done. We just take care of them. Same thing when I tell people, stop coming in up here. Majority of people that come to me that want to come into this box truck, I'm going to keep it a buck. Over 50% really can't afford to do it. They can't. And I, from an experience point of view, I'm going to tell, I always tell people, you ain't got it. You ain't got the money. When we break down how much they got, I say it's not enough. What about cash flow? I've had people say, when I say, what about cash flow? What's that? What's that? I still have yet one person health insurance. Not one person. Not one person have I talked to has mentioned insurance as one of their costs. They don't have it, can't afford it. Why? Because initially when they came in, the overhead is too high. And it doesn't just go for box truck business. It goes for all businesses. Look at all the people that started them boutiques, Little Mama Boutique, and all these little boutiques during the pandemic. None of them exist no more. All these abandoned buildings that I seen, all these abandoned storefronts that was vacant prior to the pandemic, they all had a pink goddamn storefront, and it was a ribbon cutting, and everybody was opening the boutique, and they all are back vacant again. 20,000 ain't. Once you spend 20,000, they give you 3 months free for your build out if you know what you're doing, if you know how to negotiate. But a lot of people don't know how to negotiate. But if you know how to negotiate, I'm gonna ask for about 3 months free for the build out, right? Then once you start paying rent and you get your POS system, you order all your merchandise, this, that, and the third, everything it costs to get that storefront built up, that 20,000 gone. Dumbest shit I've seen people do during the pandemic was open up a boutique. That's got to be the dumbest shit in 2020, 2021, 2022, all the way to now that you could do when most people shop online. Why pay all the brick and mortar costs associated with a storefront when you can sell the same Alibaba drop shipping shit from Shopify? Doesn't make sense. The money that was given and then forgiven was just enough to do the build out, get the inventory, POS, and everything else associated with building out a brick and mortar, and no cash flow. And that's it. Even if you got foot traffic, what's your margins like? What's your margins like? If your cash flow ain't exceeding your operational costs, ultimately, eventually, you're going to fail. If you're dependent on credit to run your business, it's only a matter of time. Cash flow. Like I educate people to decrease their operational costs. If you don't come in initially with low operational costs, when people come to me, my first thing is finding out what the operational cost is and figuring out ways to decrease it. I've been preaching this since day one. You can go back and look at my beginning live streams when everybody else was telling you to go get this truck, that truck, do all this shit that's not best for you coming into this business. I was the one that was telling everybody what was the right thing to do, but everybody was in this euphoric phase. I talked about earlier how 50% of small startup businesses have less than 15 days of liquidity. There's people in here, same situation. These are the people that come watch every week, but they don't say anything. It's a lot of people. It's not everybody that clicks the link. There's people in here that don't click the link. The brave souls that do click the link, salute to them. But they're not the only ones. I get a lot of emails, a lot of DMs, private DMs, and outside the people that click the link in the private DMs and the private Facebook messages and the emails, there's people that don't even reach out at all. There's 53 people in here right now. And more than 75% of the people that are in here that are in box truck business, cargo van business, actively are underwater. Some of them may not think they're underwater because they're getting by. But getting by for how long? And a lot of the people don't have to be just getting by. The only thing they have to do is start to make changes, start to make adjustments. I don't know what it is with people and this obsession with these newer trucks. Like, to me, I really don't know. Like, if you are scared to buy a more affordable truck, then you should not be in this business, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be the first person to tell you, the truck is going to break down. I don't care if it's newer or older, it's going to break down. And most likely, if you're OTR, it's going to break down when you're probably in the most vulnerable position. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way the business is. So it would be more beneficial for you to acquire something, right, that's more affordable, so that you can increase your profit margin, so that when things do arise, you're liquid to just have these issues taken care of and not have to worry or rely on credit. Another thing, stop coming into this business if you ain't breaded up. You need to be, listen, when I say breaded up, you need to be breaded up to the point where you can invest into this business, get started, and still have a bag of money. If this is going to be your main source of income, meaning you're leaving your job or you're starting this business and this is what you're going to be doing for your living, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to pay yourself. Especially if you on the new, it's going to be hard for you to even get lows if you run an OTR. So how are you going to take care of yourself? Can you afford to still pay your mortgage or pay your rent, your car note, whatever the expenses that you have at home? Because there's a high possibility that you're not going to immediately make the amount of money required to be able to sustain the business, cash flow the business, and pay yourself what's required to take care of home. Cash is king. Even if you get a business credit card at the beginning, what do you think the credit limit is going to be? You think it's going to be sky high? Of course not. Everything I tell people to do to build their cash flow up, they don't want to do it. Some of them don't want to do it. Why? Because they feel like it's beneath them, or they're starting too small and it's going to take too long, because they have these, they want this instant gratification of all this shit that they see on the internet of this box truck business. They think it's going to happen like that. No. It's a slow grind. But you don't want to hear this. You hate hearing it. Why? Because it sounds pessimistic. It's not pessimistic. It's actually optimistic. Why? Because it's the truth. If you listen to the experienced people, a lot of the times you won't go through the bullshit that you go through. Do you think I honestly care? Like, do you honestly think if you how am I trying to say this? I ultimately want people to win. This is why I tell you the truth. I give you the hard, cold truth. I tear you down, I build you up. I tell you what you need to hear, right? I give you all the information that most people aren't giving you, right? Because, like I always say, they probably haven't experienced a lot of this stuff. A lot of the creators are pandemic babies themselves when it comes to trucking, right? So the things that I've experienced, they haven't experienced. They watched my channel too. They ain't going to tell you. That's another reason I took my damn shit down. Because I was getting reports of my same shit. You know, as people go buy shit from this person, this person, this person. People telling me people got my shit, done repackaged my shit. I'm giving you the tools that you need. Because look, good is good. If you have a good week, you have a good month, that's great. What about the unforeseen situations? Those pessimistic things that I talk about, that I've gone through, that I'm able to coach people around, or if they fall into, coach people out of, is because you're talking about years and years and years and years of experience. Nobody knew that you didn't have to even have one insurance company until I came. Man, you can have 3 different insurance companies? Well, I didn't know that. Man, you mean to tell me you ain't got to have all the same shit on one? So everything ain't got to be progressive? Man, I ain't know that, man. Shit, I wish you was on YouTube back in 2020, 2021. Because, man, so-and-so I booked a mentor consultation with told me I couldn't do it like that. Who the fuck told you that? You want to spend as least amount of money as possible so that you can keep as most money as possible in every single facet of your business. From your truck note to your insurance to how much money you spending on diesel. You should be looking for deals for tires. You should be looking for deals for equipment. You shouldn't just be spending money you shouldn't just be spending money willy-nilly. And this is why a lot of people can't afford to pay their employees a decent wage. This is why people can't keep employees, because they spending excess money on all the shit that they could be saving money on, so that they can take that excess money, a little of that excess money, and give it to the people that's going to keep those trucks moving, so that they can continue to make money without having to be fully active in the business. They can be in the back and run the business and grow the business. How you gonna keep somebody when you can't afford to pay them a livable wage because you spending excess money on your truck note, your insurance note, because you ignorant, you haven't educated yourself. You've invested something into something that you don't understand. And you robbing Peter to pay Paul. And this is most businesses. More than 50% of small businesses, including in this industry, are running on 15 days of cash liquidity. More than 50%. It's ridiculous. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not. Listen, we have case studies week in and week out on the call-in show. Before the call-in show, we had the testimonial show. Another point I want to hit. Stop growing your business past your cash reserves. Stop going out doing all the dumb shit. Now, and this could be within the business or outside of the business, because here's the thing. If you go out and you do some goofy shit outside of the business, meaning your business is making X amount of dollars, and you can only pay yourself X amount of dollars. Your business is making X amount, you can pay yourself X amount because you still have to cash flow the business. Business has to sustain. But you go out and you buy a car that you can't afford. Now, that car is on the personal side, right? But what it does is it ends up affecting your business because you control everything. You the business owner. So now you got to pay yourself more. And in most cases, a lot more, because a lot of small business owners, what they do, what they feel, I don't know where this came from. I don't know who told you, but if you got a small business, you're supposed to look like you a business owner. So they go out from a Honda Civic, and then they got to go out, and they can't get the S, so they go get the E-Class Benz or the C-Class Benz just so they can say they got a Benz. They really want the S, but the finance manager said, nah, you ain't that big dog. You ain't that big dog. But buddy ass will, like, when they see me coming from the front, they ain't gonna know if it's the E or the S. It's a Benz, right? So you the I got a Benz just to say I got a Benz type person, right? And even when you go get that E-Class, you, depending on what your credit is like and your interest rate, you still paying a note that you really, the business can't afford to pay you to cover. So what you do, you start robbing from the sustainability of the business. So you've increased your pay, which has increased your company's overhead, so you can ride around a fucking E-Class Benz. So it looks the part, right? When you at your little brunch party with your girl, and, oh, what you do? Oh man, I got a trucking business. Yeah, we see you pull up, and what's that? What's that? Oh man, it's that, it's an E420. Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, you say you own the trucking business? Yeah, I got the trucking business, man. That's under the business right there. Whole time, you had a paid off Honda Civic. You had a paid off Toyota Camry. Now you just added an additional $1,100 a month, right, to your personal finances, and now you're going to rob the business for that. Now you're going to take that money out and pay yourself that extra money, and this is how you fall into the trap. Because you don't want nobody to see you pull up in that Camry when you had these conversations at brunch with your girl. Man, what you do for a living? Oh, man, I got a trucking business. And they look out the window, they see you pull up like, trucking business? Oh, okay. But how's it doing? Oh, yeah, it's doing great. Okay. You worried about what people think. Business ain't there yet. Me, I'd rather go get a few more trucks. When I was coming up, I got a few more trucks. And this is what happens. So it don't necessarily have to you exceed the operational expenses of the actual business that, exceed the cash liquidity. It could be your personal shit too. That's causing you to rob from the sustainability of the business by having to pay yourself more. We've seen examples of this time and time and time again. Rule of thumb: don't build your business to the point where your operational expenses are surpassing your cash liquidity. Listen, if more money is coming out than coming in, you have a problem. If you're having to rely on credit, you have a problem. You should want to see the money grow. Listen, and I'm keeping it a buck with you. It's okay to have business credit cards. It's okay to have business lines of credit just to have it there. But if you're having to depend on it instead of the cash flow in your business, then something's wrong. Why do you think Apple is so cash heavy? One, they got great margins. Great margins, right? And obviously, two, which coincides with their margins, their operational expenses are far less than the revenue that's coming in. These phones that we pay $1,500 for, they cost nowhere near $1,500 to make. A lot of the money that's spent on the gadgets that we use is spent more in the technology part. But once the technology, the R&D of the technology and whatever technology is purchased, whether it's a chip or maybe some AI or whatever the technology and the research and development goes in, once it's there, then it's just duplicated and put into the devices. And you're charged 500, 600, 700% markup on what the actual cost of the actual device that's being made over in Indonesia and China costs to make. Most of the money goes into the R&D. The actual product doesn't cost that much. The chips and things that are outsourced, they're buying millions and millions of these things, so they're getting the shit at a wholesale price. It doesn't matter. The money goes into the technology and the R&D. The actual physical product that you're holding in your hand, it costs nowhere near to make what you spent on it. But you can go run a box truck business at an operational cost that far exceeds the gross income. Make it make sense for me. Mark, how you get so many trucks? I made more money than I spent. If I didn't have it to spend, if it was something that we couldn't afford, we didn't do it. Listen, I never grew past my cash liquidity. Never. Cash liquidity was always up here. Operating expenses always down here. Never. Never grow your business overhead past. Never grow your business overhead past what your cash reserves can support. Never grow your business's overhead past what your cash reserves can support. Why are you going out spending money and you know you can't afford this shit? Listen, it's probably been people that's been watching for 2 years. They might just be making it, but if they would apply some of this shit, they would be on their way. Listen, if you are in the same spot, and I'm keeping it a buck. Listen, don't make me no never mind. You get offended, you like it, you don't like it. I'm keeping it 1,000. Listen, if you are in the same position that you were 2 years ago, then something's wrong. Now, that doesn't mean one truck. You don't have to grow and scale your fleet. Fleet is not for everybody. Right? We could look at it from a different point of view. We could look at it from a revenue standpoint. If you're making the same amount of money that you were making 2 years ago, something's wrong. If you don't have more money in the reserves than you had 2 years ago, something's wrong. If you're not cash flowing more business, if that margin, that operational expense, right? The operational cost and that revenue, that income, if it's that gap isn't widening, something's seriously wrong. If your margin was 7%, profit margin was 7% 2 years ago, and it's 7% today, then something's wrong. If you still got the same profit margin today that you had 2 years ago, something's wrong. Seriously. Something ain't right. Mark, but the insurance is more. Why aren't you decreasing your operational costs? Why ain't you delaying your gratification? What are you doing that you're not supposed to be doing? Listen, the sacrifice got to come from somewhere. Some got to get neglected. Is it going to be the family, so you can focus more time on the business, so you can focus more time doing the actual business? Is it going to be maybe some of the activities that you do personally, so that you can decrease what you pay yourself, so that can be cash flowed into the business, so the business can have a nice nest egg, so that maybe you can pay yourself health insurance? Do you want to continue to do listen, that extra $400, $500, $600, $800 that you paying yourself that really you shouldn't be paying yourself? Maybe the business should be having that, so that you can get a healthcare plan under the business, so that you can go get your teeth cleaned every 6 months. So that you stop looking on Google trying to diagnose yourself because you can't afford to pay for health insurance. You can actually call the doctor and go pay a little copay and go in there and see what's wrong with your ass. But you rather take that extra $500, $600, $700, $800 and pay yourself extra. Really, that should be cash flow, so it can take care of something more pertinent within the business. That extra $700, $800 that you paying yourself, robbing from the sustainability of the business, using that as discretionary funds for your own personal enjoyment. You had to go to Roof Chris. That was $300, $250 right there. You didn't have to go to. You can't afford Roof Chris. Then you double back and went to the Cheesecake Factory. Then you went on StockX and ordered some Jordans. You didn't need none of that shit. That shit should have been in the business. You ain't got no health insurance. You paying yourself more money, robbing from the sustainability of business, so that you can have extra discretionary funds for your personal enjoyment. But you are a new business owner. Like what? If anything, you should be buying you some more work boots, some more work uniforms, some Dickies or some shit. A few uniform shirts with your name on them. I don't get it. So many people's operational expenses are just way past what the cash reserves of the business can support. So for everybody that asks me all the time, how did you do it? I had cash. Well, how did you have cash? Delayed gratification, hard work, working until my eyes couldn't stay open. And when I had to go spend cash for the business, right, I made sure I was getting the best deal. I wasn't looking for the best shiny things. I was buying trucks that was 8, 9, 10 years old. I was paying cash for them. I didn't rely on credit. Didn't rely on credit. If the business cash flow couldn't afford it, then we didn't need it. Didn't try to expand too quick, too fast. Didn't try to expand using other people's money. This can be debated. Listen, I'm keeping it a buck with you. I see more people successful utilizing the cash is king method than I see people that use other people's money. Keeping it a buck. I'm an old school guy. I'm an old school guy. I'm an OG, old school. If I can't afford to buy it, I don't need it. If I want it, then we have to create the revenue and the income to be able to buy it. Until then we just won't have it. It ain't ready yet. Business gonna let us know when it's time. Never reach back in the pocket. Reached in the pocket one time, the business recouped that money, paid me back, and then everything else from that initial investment, I'm talking about at the very beginning, from the pickup truck, that first $75 I got, I put whatever into the tape, I paid Ronell, and everything that else came in, I just kept putting it out there, building. Man, this shit, okay, we get a 16-foot truck. Okay, I got the money. Let's go rent it for how much? Okay, that's it. $250 for the week. Oh, 10-cent amount. All right, no. How much for the insurance? Oh, no problem. Whoop. Boom. One move cover that. Now all this money is revenue outside of gas. Next thing I know, I got tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, shit. Let's start buying trucks. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the licenses out the way too. How much that costs? Oh, that's it. That ain't nothing. We got the money. Why? Because by me taking things slow, one little small step at a time, my cash liquidity was growing. But because I started so slow, if my operational expense was this for the day, I'm making this. So every day, this is what it's cost me. I'm making this and I'm stacking it. I'm not spending shit. Why? I'm working 7 days a week. On top of that, I've delayed my gratification. My first person that should have been the first person that was leaning on me, that I was dating at that time for marriage, gave me an ultimatum. You got the money. Why you still live at the crib? Because as soon as I move out the crib, all that money that I'm going to have to pay myself now to sustain life, right? I can put that back into the business. It ain't time yet. When I move, I'm moving. When I move, I'm not going to move into and I can live here rent free. My OG told me, listen, you can stay as long as you want. Just when you leave, don't come back. No problem. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to continue to build so that when I leave, not only do I leave, I don't have to start at the starter package, right? I had homies that started at the starter package apartments. Doors then got kicked in because, you making money. You a fly guy making money. People watching. I don't want to live in the hood. I want to move out the hood. So when I leave, I'm leaving. I'm going to go to where I want to go to so I can be comfortable. And I'm going to make sure I can afford to live there. But I'm going to make sure my business is built too before I leave. I'm not going to leave while I'm still building a business. I'm going to make sure the business is built. So you know what? You're going to give me an ultimatum? 6 months? All right. 6 months came. Guess where I was at? Still at the crib checking a bag. I delayed my gratification, man. I don't need to be shit. If you don't want to go get this room so we can go do what we got to do, then I'm not leaving the crib so we can lay up and you can say, oh, this is my man. Nah, fuck all that, nigga. I'm staying at the crib. I'm gonna keep running up these thousands every day. And that extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever it would have been that I would have had to pay into cost of living for myself, that I would have had to pay myself now. No, we putting that back into the business. I paid $8,000-$9,000 for trucks back then. That was a truck. That $5,000 I would have spent to live in January, whatever month or whatever that was a truck. February, that was a truck. March, that was a truck. April, that was a truck. May, that was a truck. June, that was a truck. All right, when I built my fleet up, my first $1 million year is when I came here, where I'm at right now, 10 years later. And when I did it. I furnished the place. Rob came in, mounted all my TVs, everything. I came in this place. I didn't have to, we gonna get the living room furniture. We're gonna put that on layaway. No, we went shopping. I spent a bag. Why? Because I had cash. I delayed my gratification. I built my business. My business is successful. We got a warehouse. We got an office. We got a fleet of trucks. We making money hand over fist. Now, God is telling me, all right, now you can go ahead and go look for a place. Now, if you want to, get you a better ride, you can do it. Now, if you want to take some time off and start traveling, you can do it. And I didn't even do that. Not then. Why? Because I had more work to do. I needed more cash. Okay, we did it in 2014. It took us 4 years to get to this point. We got to do it again in 2015. We got to do it again in 2016. We got to do it again in 2017. The only card that I used was those fleet cards y'all see me show y'all from time to time. Those are the only cards. And that was a necessity because you got so many trucks, so many different people. You have to have something for people to pump gas. Every single vehicle I acquired, except for 2, was bought cash. Now, what if I financed all those vehicles? It was times, and don't think the road was just straight up and to the right. Nah, of course we had rough times. 2017 for me was a rough year. Very rough, very rough. But you know what softened it was the fact that my expenses wasn't that high. Imagine having 15 truck payments. It wasn't the fact that it was rough because we were making money. It's just we entered into a new realm on the trucking side, not the moving side, where our cost currently were exceeding accounts receivable. So our receivables weren't coming in a week or 2 weeks out like it would if you're running for a 3PL. If you're running for a 3PL this week, the money that you earn this week is going to be on your settlement the following week or the week after that, right? We weren't seeing a consistent, steady accounts receivable for the work that we were doing because we were cross-docking. So when they were getting paid for certain accounts for certain deliveries or pickups, then we would get that money about 30 days after that. So it wasn't a consistency. We might have did X amount of deliveries this week, but the payment, the settlement that we got the following week or the week after that, it didn't parallel the work that was done prior. That payment might have been scattered from shit that we had did 6 months ago or 4 months ago or something we did 4 months ago. It might have been a settlement for, let's say, 50 stops, and it might have been all mixed up. It might have been some shit we did from last month. It might have been some shit from 6 months ago. It might have been a few of those stops might have been shit we did 3 months ago, right? Because it was a mix of orders that were being paid from shit that they got paid for. They don't treat a cross-docker like how they treat a 3PL because they figure, well, shit, you not like an independent contract. You got a warehouse, you got all this, so you got to wait for your money. Well, Mark, why didn't you factor it? How? What invoice? With what invoice? I wouldn't have factored it anyway. So you have cash flow. We can wait. If I'm gonna play big boy games, gotta have big boy money. Now it did get to a point where it got kind of crucial because we ended up doing Home Depot, and then those orders were really, really heavy. So now I'm doing a lot heavier orders, right? And the payments a week or two out, if I'm doing 300-400 orders in a pay period for my guys, that's 300-400 orders that week, that in labor costs that I got to pay for, right? And then the settlement for the following week, it may have not been comparable to what I spent, right? Eventually those monies came in, right? But, the moving company being very, profitable, right? It was able to help lighten the load for the monies that accounts payable was waiting for on the trucking side, right? So, but 2017 was kind of rough. Obviously, we recouped a lot of that money from 2017 and 2018, right? I've had unforeseen situations where things have happened. I had one idiot get stuck in the snow twice, back to back. One day he got stuck in the snow, and the following day he got stuck in the snow in the same spot he got stuck in the snow the day before doing the delivery. Why? I think he did it shit on purpose. And guess what? Each day it cost me $800, $700-800 to get him winched out. Do you think he paid it? Of course he didn't pay it. $1,600 in 2 days. I ended up just firing the guy. It was just better for me to just fire this guy than take it out of his check. I just fired him. After the second day, you get stuck in the same spot you got stuck yesterday. Dude, just don't come back. It's people out there right now. At the first day they driver got stuck in the snow for $800, they wouldn't have been able to afford to pay for it because they robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know how many walls I've had to get repaired? You think I filed them on my insurance? Of course not. This is all out of pocket. Why? We have cash. You know how many floors I've had repaired? I've never filed a claim for a good on my insurance. Never. Or property. Never. One time for a dock awning. It was $55,000. One time. And I've had claims in the thousands of dollars. Rob told y'all when he came. And he told y'all most of the time I would pay for him. Not me personally, the company. I would hit them upside the head from time to time. But some people, like he said, I took their whole check. Henry, which was one of his friends, was one of them. Well, we damn near had to go to war with the Latin Kings. But understanding business, I always had cash. And we took care of things that needed to be taken care of. Because I always understood that my income and my costs, that gap need to be far. It need to be far, right? I want to pay myself. Listen, I'm running this many trucks, a warehouse, an office staff. I deserve to be paid a good salary. So in order to increase my salary to a couple $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, I got to make sure that the company can afford to pay my salary. You think I'm finna cut myself short? So how do I ensure I can pay myself $200,000 a year? Myself. Still got to cash flow the business. By making sure those margins are up there. Making sure that when I'm sitting in that office that y'all see me sitting in, when I show pictures, and I'm sitting there taking selfies in my office, every single screen had shit on it. I'm not just talking to people at 3PLs. I'm not just booking moves. I'm also signing and looking at trucks, making sure people ain't doing dumb shit. I'm also making sure that my business operational cost stays low and that revenue that's coming in stays high. Because I don't want to have to rely on other people's money. Because I understand cash is king. And it could be debated. But I 100% now in hindsight, right, looking back now that it's all said and done, I lived through it. If I would have relied on other people's money on credit, for instance, one, I probably wouldn't have scaled the way I did. Two, if I did scale, when I did have unforeseen situations, I would have had to rely on that credit, right? And I probably would have been underwater, right? And my exit wouldn't have been a successful one like it was. It would have been a failure. I wouldn't have even made it to the pandemic. I probably 2017 would have probably been my demise. 2017 would have been my demise because there was so much owed to the company, right? Our income was still high, but cross-docking with the payables just wasn't coming in on the trucking side as fluent as they were before. Net 120, net 60, net 90, net 180. So the payables was up there. Just wasn't that fluent, right? So if I would have had the expenses of truck notes and all the other shit that I would have financed instead of cashed out, it would have been it. 2017 would have been it for me. It was the cash flow that kept us going, the money. The money. $100% the money. So, in conclusion, I think people need to really, when we talk about, cost per mile, and I talk about cost per mile, and, if you're running OTR, if I talk about, your operational costs, your profit margin, things like that, take that shit serious. Take it serious. It's the same shit. Delayed gratification, understanding your cost, making sure your cost is low to operate your business, increasing your profit margin, increasing your gross revenue, your income. You focus on these things, you understand the fundamentals, you don't build a business, you don't increase your overhead, let your overhead surpass your cash liquidity. Business is not as simple as a lot of people think it is. It's just not, right? And this is why so many people ultimately fail, right? All right, we'll open the floor up for, a few questions, and then I'm going to retire for the evening. All right. So shout out to St. Louis, Superman Clark, what up? Real talk, pay cash for my houses. 2 facts. Shout out to you. A lot of people during the housing market crash were able to get houses for very low, right? Basically, people that got the houses during the housing market crash are the people who are the new generation of millionaires off real estate today. People that were buying homes in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2-3 flats for $20,000, 30, 40,000 in, you 50, 60 in, 20,000 to buy it, another 30, 40,000 in as far as the full gut rehab, you 50, 60,000 in cash on a short sale. Shit, those properties now $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. You know, so cash is always going to be king. It's always good to have cash laying around, especially in times of economic downturn. Why? Because it's the people that have cash on hand that get rich. Listen, when there's an economic downturn, everything's on sale. But guess what? If you don't have cash because you don't follow these simple principles that I just talked about and taught you, you're going to be the one missing out. I want this economy to crash. Don't you get it? I want this shit to crash. Why? Because I have cash. I want to buy this. Listen, I want to buy everything. Because when people was going out doing what was not best for them, I was sitting my black ass down, making money and investing into shit that was going to make me more money. I don't give a goddamn if the shit crashed tomorrow. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it as an opportunity. Why? Because when I didn't have the money back in the day, I saw people that did have the money take those unforeseen economic downturns as opportunities. The people who lost their homes, there was somebody that had cash on hand during the housing market crash that bought it for pennies on the dollar. When the pandemic hit and the stock market and the crypto market crashed, there were people that had cash on hand that sucked all that shit up. And guess what? A month later, the shit recovered. It took them 30 days to do a 200%, 300%, 400% return on their money. The people who didn't have cash on hand because they were doing the dumb shit, they missed out on those opportunities. So once you learn how the rich get rich and how the rich stay rich, you're going to make money when the economy is boom or bust. See, me, I don't give a goddamn if it's boom or bust. If it's booming, we making money. If it's bust, this is when we're spending money. We're spending money. We're dollar cost averaging in. So when it goes boom again, we're selling to some sucker who doesn't understand shit, like the guys that came in who didn't know what the hell they was doing during the pandemic, and they came in a box truck bubble and they bought all these assets, these trucks at an inflated rate. And then a guy like me who diluted his position in the industry by selling my trucks at overvalue to some suckers, they got left holding the bag. A lot of those people that bought those trucks for me, I 100% guarantee a lot of them ain't still in the industry no more. 100% guarantee. It's business. It's not personal. When I buy an asset, I make sure I buy it low so that I can sell it to somebody high. That's how you make money. When I run a business, I make sure my operational expenses are low and I make sure that my income is higher than my operational expenses. I didn't get into business to spend more money than I make. I don't buy assets to lose on them. I buy them to make money from them so that I can sell it to somebody high. Because somebody on TikTok told them that if they bought this, they're going to be a millionaire. Okay, here, well, I got something. I can sell it to you. Because I got thousands of shares of them. So here, take some of them from me. Sucker. Blessed day, Mark. Been checking you for a few months, man. You dropped some real in your face. Nah, it stinks. I'm a new driver, 6 months, and I be up and down the East Coast from Maine. Key West, thank you, man. Appreciate you for joining the channel, man. Appreciate you for watching. Mark, who do you guys buy Bitcoin? I don't buy Bitcoin. I'm not investing in Bitcoin. I only invest into alts. Bitcoin, only thing it's going to do is 2 to 3x. I'm not looking for a 2 to 3x. I'm looking for 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, 1,000 X's. So I don't have any Bitcoin. I've done better on other assets than I would have done on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only on 2 to 3x. Let's say if I'd have bought Bitcoin and last year around this time for, let's say, 25,000, that 25,000 in fetch at that time has made more money than what that 25,000. That 25,000 in Bitcoin right now would have only made me what, $35,000. I made way more than that in Fetch. So I don't look for, see, that's a good example too. Bitcoin is what everybody knows, but what people don't understand is the more expensive something is, the return is not going to be as high as something that can 10x or 20x or 30x or 100x or 1000x, right? So the people who make money off of Bitcoin are the institutions. The Bitcoin is not a retail investor's play anymore. Bitcoin is not a retail investor's play anymore. That's an institutional play. That's an institutional play. $25,000 into, let's say, Solana. Last year, at the same time Bitcoin was 25,000, you would have more money off that 25,000 investment on Solana. The institutions invest billions of dollars into Bitcoin. So their returns are going to be higher. A typical retail investor doesn't have millions and billions to invest into Bitcoin to see those types of returns. Bitcoin is what, 68,000 right now? That's what it was earlier when I looked, 68, 69. So 25,000. Be up what, $37,000, $38,000 after a year off that one coin? Mm-hmm. But take that same 25,000 and invest into something that was 7 cents at that time, where you're getting hundreds of thousands of shares that topped out at $3.50. Now, how many X return is that? So no, I don't invest in Bitcoin at all because I'm not an institution. Bitcoin is going to do nothing. I could go put 100 grand into Bitcoin right now, and at the end of this bull run, if it does 100 grand, I'm going to make what, $30,000? $22,000. So I spent 68. Let's say I buy a Bitcoin at 68 right now. I think it's 68,000 just to make 22,000. When I can go look for an altcoin, right? That's $1 that has the potential to 10x by the end of this bull run and take that same 68,000 and 10x it. So now that 68,000 is going to be 680,000, right? Because I took something that was $1 that when this bull run does go parabolic, when retail money comes in, right? Because right now we're just shuffling around the same liquidity. When that retail money comes in, right? And things go parabolic once we get the celebrities, the TikTokers, and everybody pumping the narrative, right? Guys that are like me and like some of the people that are in here that bought in early that have been dollar cost averaging in when things are low. And then that goes 9 or 10x. Now it's $9 or $10 and we exit out of our position 85, 90, or 100%. We turned that 68,000 to 680,000. That 68,000 that Bitcoin does 100, let's say even 125. I'm not even going to make $100,000 off of it. No. Now, if I was like BlackRock or ARK or Grayscale, and I'm investing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800,000, $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion into it, then it's a different story. No, I'm looking for the big returns. I'm not going to tie up that type of money to make $20-some thousand. No, I made more than that off Fetch. I made more than that off Solana. When I invested into Solana last year, it was less than $20. It's touched over $200. I called something in the members only that was around a penny when I told people I was buying into it. It just topped 4 cents. But we don't have minimal shares. Why? Something that cheap. We buying hundreds of thousands of shares, 100,000 minimum. Every penny it goes up, we make $1,000. Goes to $1, we make 100,000. We bought in at a penny. 100,000 shares. That's how you make money. You buy low, you sell high. You delay your gratification, you be patient. And then sometime when the shit gets running and they're, oh my God, it's going crazy. It's parabolic. Get in now. Good. Here you go. I'm going to sell it to you because in order to sell it, it's got to be a buyer. And when everybody starts selling it to those suckers, it's going to come crashing down and they're going to get caught left holding the bag. Because when it was blood on the streets, it was opportunity, and that's when we were buying. So. Mark, hypothetically, if you came into the trucking industry, you should at least have in capital what you spent on the truck, right? Like $30K on the truck and $30K in the pocket. So you can't just look at the truck, right? There's other expenses that you're gonna spend money on entering the business, right? So that is the rule of thumb, but most people don't follow that rule of thumb. So if I come into a business and it costs me $30,000 to come in, I make sure I want to at least have 6 months of cash flow to sustain a business, because you're expecting not to be profitable at least for the first 3 months. Not every business comes in and they're generating revenue at a profit right away. So you at least want to have 6 months cash, right? Not credit, cash. Right. So it doesn't have to be a specific number, because you want to make sure that you have 6 months of operation expenses, right? Pay payroll, right? And payroll including yourself, right? But, sometimes you have to delay your gratification and you cannot get paid. It's times where I wasn't able to pay myself. So not necessarily the same amount, but you want to make sure you have at least 6 months, depending on the business, to a year, 6 to 12 months. Right, of cash flow to sustain until the business becomes profitable. What do you think about Algorand? Well, I'm gonna answer that question, but I don't really talk about this stuff on the public side. But I'll answer that. Algorand, I think it's had its time. I was invested into it the last bull run. I haven't invested into this bull run. I see a narrative playing out this bull cycle that a lot of the coins that were popular last cycle aren't popular this cycle. I think those older coins that were running the last cycle, they're just not running this cycle. We talk about this in the chat. I've exited out of some of the coins that I was in last cycle that I did pretty well on. I'll give them away because I'm not in them. Cardano was one. XRP, I got out. I got out of Hedera. I put all that money into other sectors or other narratives that are more prominent and that are moving this bull run. Those old coins aren't really, there's new use cases that are out this bull run that weren't out last bull run that, it's just the narrative is more popular, and those are the ones that are moving. All right. So I don't want to, keep my money in something. If I see that, this ain't really doing it, then I don't do it. Algorand has just been dormant this bull cycle. So I'm not in it. Right. Ryan said Mark just gave away free game. Pay attention, man. It flew over a lot of people here, though. I think it's going to run. I think it's going to run. Looking to buy a truck, hoping to link one at 10 or 15. Is that possible? It's definitely possible. I was just on Penske used trucks the other day. I seen one for 11. Shout out to Nick in the building. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Big Herm said appearances as important in business ownership as everything else that pertains to business ownership. I think so. My fifth grade teacher, this is something that my fifth grade teacher, one thing that I remember my fifth grade teacher saying, her name was Mrs. Falby. She said appearance is 50% of everything. Now, that appearance being 50% of everything, you know, it doesn't pertain to lifestyle. Meaning, if I'm starting a business, I don't want to follow that narrative that, oh, I got to look the part to be the part. No, not necessarily. Not at the beginning. Now, there may come a time when the business is successful and you may be taking business meetings, depending on what industry you're in, and you may, if you're making the money, you may want to upgrade your suits, right? You might want to, you know, maybe upgrade your car, but there comes a time for that. You know, I think the 50% business appearance is 50% everything. When it comes to business, from an aspect, it doesn't pertain to you personally and your discretionary spending for yourself personally, but to as far as the business is concerned, you know, making sure that, you know, here's the thing. My trucks that I purchased, the used trucks that I purchased, they were aged, right? But I always made sure that they were well kept, right? I made sure that they, you know, didn't have no knocking noises. They weren't loud. I made sure they were clean. I made sure that the blankets were clean. I made sure that it was part of the policy that when we trained these guys, that after every move, they fold the blankets. So when they went to their next delivery, or if it was on one of the moving trucks, they went to the next job and the customer came out to greet them and they opened up the back door. They just didn't see the truck in disarray from the previous move. The blankets were nice and neatly folded, stacked up against the wall and strapped to the wall. The dollies were all nice and stacked properly. All the rubber bands and the ratchet straps were hung on the E-tracks, you know, color coded, things of that nature. The truck was neat and presentable, and it was the company was presented in a certain way. I think people get carried away with, oh, I got a business, so I got to go out and buy the fancy car and the big house and the clothes that are associated with it, because when they get in these circles and they get to talking about that they're a business owner, they want to look the part, be the part. And I think that's where people mess up at, because they do it too soon. The business hasn't afforded you or awarded you the opportunity to, you know, do these types of things yet. That time, that's a I wouldn't even say it's a reward. I would say when you increase your business revenue and income so that you can increase your salary for what the business pays you, however you want to spend your money outside of your cost of living, your discretionary funds on luxury, then that's on you. But you have to build your business up to be able to pay yourself fairly that amount of money so that you can go out and acquire these things. I just really don't understand why people do that shit. Shout out to DJ Starboy in the building. Sean agrees with me when we're talking about Apple research and development marketing is their highest cost. Elton says he's in Wisconsin. He hasn't paid himself in 20 weeks. Elton Frederick also said, Mark, you really be spitting. Shout out to Elton Frederick. Appreciate you for joining the channel and watching the live stream. Week's example dispatching during bad weeks. Example dispatching leaker Who is Lisa Brokerage? Why you call Lisa Brokerage a goofy? Who is that? Is she a YouTuber or something? Shout out to Justin Ville. Allison Trans. Somebody asked me to come up. Okay, well I dropped the link. If she's still in here. When I be cooking, man, I don't be looking at the chat. So if somebody said Tracy wants to come up, is that the Tracy that wanted to come up a few weeks ago and then she disappeared? Is that her or is that somebody else? Man, what is going on in the chat? Negro, I have a 2019 International never broke down. What is she talking to? Y'all be in the chat arguing with each other. I don't understand. What for? All right, if Tracy is still in here, then the link is there. If she's not, then I don't know. I don't know what y'all be tweaking on in the chat, boy. All right, so there go the link for Tracy. Shout out to Isaac Andrews for the super chat. Appreciate that. Mark, do you think the new Apple Intelligence will be good to integrate into your trucking business? I haven't watched the DD or whatever the hell the abbreviation they call it. I didn't watch it from the other day. I've been meaning to watch it, but I didn't watch it. I heard it was heavy on Apple's AI. I'm probably gonna try to watch it this weekend, so I really can't answer that question because I didn't watch I didn't watch it. So Mark, do you have NVIDIA? Yes, I do. Rich Jew. And yes, that's the same from the other day. All right. Well, I see that she put this in here earlier in the live, and look, when she dropped the link, I had probably just started my presentation, so I wasn't going to drop it then anyway. So if she's still here, the link is in the chat. She's welcome to come up. If not, then maybe another time. But I see oh, here she goes. Well, she was there. Hello, you were there. Your camera was on, but then it went off. Hello. Hello. Hey Tracy, you came up. I saw you. It looked like you was probably in a truck or something, but then you clicked off. So I see you in the back, but you gotta. I'm gonna drop you down and call back up, and then I'll pull you back up. I did see you. So. I think she's gonna try to porn bomb me. I see a man. It's a still picture in the back. Some weird looking mug. I'm not gonna pull you on the screen. See, people be on this goofy shit. Hey Tracy, I see a weird looking Mexican man with craters in his face. Unless Tracy is a guy, but it's frozen. I don't know, man. This is weird. It's looking like a Mexican dude. That now the Tracy that called originally, this wasn't the same person I seen pop up in the back. This is a still shot of a Mexican dude with a cowboy hat on. But I think if I pulled it up on the screen, I think it might have been a porn bomb. Now you can call back up again, but like I need to see you in the back room before I pull you up. Okay, you called, but I don't see nobody. Throw up the peace sign. Yo, throw up the peace sign. Yo, throw up the peace sign. See, I don't know, man. This shit look kind of crazy, bro. Hold on, bro. Something ain't right. Let me see something. Tracy Jones. Nah, bro. It's some weird shit, bro. Some dude coming up. Yo, if you can hear me, throw up the peace sign. If you can hear me, throw up the peace sign. I'm not gonna bring you up until you throw up the peace sign. I don't see no movement. Y'all see that? That don't look like the person that's on the that don't look like the person that's on that thumbnail. And the first person that called up, it didn't look like that person. It looked more like is that a guy in that thumbnail? And whoever this is, they phone keep freezing. Yo, your phone keep freezing. See that? Y'all see that? Mm-mm. Yeah, whoever it is, they having technical difficulties. You said Tracy is very active in the channel? Oh, shit. All right, hold on. I gotta respond to a text message real quick. Yeah, whoever Tracy is, I mean, shit, from this thumbnail, I don't know. That could be I don't know. I can't tell. Let me see something. Is that a man or a woman? Oh, it look like a man. That look like a man. All right, man. It's me, Tracy Jones. Sorry, bro. My phone and text is shit. Yeah, if you somewhere near where you can get access to a Wi-Fi, then you gonna have to he's the enterprise dude. What enterprise dude? Oh, the enterprise dude. Oh, so that enterprise dude, it's been 3 months. I was supposed to give you an update. The enterprise dude. All right, well, if you near Wi-Fi, you got to connect to the Wi-Fi. I don't know what type of signal you using, but when you calling, it's freezing. Yeah, you gotta connect to some Wi-Fi. Light skin homie, the one that gave them his money and no truck, I think. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, homie. You gonna have to 5 bands and no truck. Y'all remember him? Yeah, you calling, but I don't even see you. I don't even see you. Yeah, you gotta connect to some Wi-Fi, man. Your signal ain't that good, man. Sorry. Yeah, just stop trying at this point. Yeah, just stop trying. I don't even know why you keep calling. Hey man, you gotta exit out of this. You gotta exit out of that Safari, or it's gonna keep dialing, bro. If you watching, you gotta close out that link and exit out. Yeah, so they will stop calling me. All right, but yeah, I don't remember him, but y'all do. So yeah, if you get access to some Wi-Fi, then feel free to come back. But I'm gonna go back and read some more of these questions. And then I'm gonna retire from the evening. Yeah, I think I'm gonna retire sooner. Hey man, you gotta exit out of Safari, bro. Yeah, I don't know this dude. Yeah, I don't know him. Yeah, so let me see any more questions. Y'all said I was talking to him. Yeah, I remember him. He was smoking the cig, and you told him he need to go get his bread back. Bro, bro, I'm tweaking. There. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, maybe when I started talking to him, man. I talked to so many people, bro. I don't remember. But y'all remember him, so all right, he good. I thought you was like a troll for a minute, so I was talking shit for a minute. I thought you was trying to get me. That's why I was quick on the button and started talking crazy about you. But no offense. No offense. All right, so boom, basically everything that I talked about, I think because I can't make out what this guy's saying. Who was it? Sean. I don't know if he was talking to me or if he was talking to somebody in the chat. But to me, cash is king. Like I said at the beginning, it's debatable. It worked for me. I've seen it work for other people. It allowed me to, acquire um, things without having to use other people's money, not having to borrow, and you know, as my business grew, my cash grew, right? But my cash was growing way ahead of my business. So the money that was coming in was just far greater than the operational expenses. And as I scaled the business, I was able to draw some of that cash down and use it for what I needed to use it for to continue to build my business. This is just how I did it, right? So for everybody that asks how I did it, that's how I did it. I use cash. I continue to make money, and I can continue to use that money that was coming in to continue to grow the business. If that doesn't work for you, or if you want to follow the narrative of other people's money and using credit and credit cards, then so be it. But yeah. I don't see any more questions. Tracy is still calling, but I think I am done for the evening. I don't see any more questions. He was in his garage. He was coming from a restaurant or something. All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Sorry, Tracy, that we couldn't pull you up because your service. But maybe next time, You know, when you get to a major town or you get near some Wi-Fi, we can chop it up. If you got Wi-Fi and you still calling, you got to close out this. Well, it looked like he was moving it for a minute, but it died again. Yeah. It looked like he was moving for a minute, but it died again. Yeah, just stop calling, big dog. You ain't got no. You gotta get you some Wi-Fi, big dog. Yeah, you gonna have to get you some Wi-Fi. Oh, he said at a Love's. That Love's ain't got no Wi-Fi in Italy, Texas. Ain't no Wi-Fi at that Love's. You can't steal no Wi-Fi from them. I guess not. All right, well, maybe next time we can get you up here, all right?
We got London on the track.
Whoa. Yeah, man, TIP in this motherfucker with me, nigga. To the max with it. Rex.
I count 6 shots.
Bustin' out the bando. A nigga jury real metal like a piano. I went from rag to riches to a 50 with tip. I went from smart car to a bitch with some smart lips. And that epiphany make my hip limp. I'm going fishing with these little bitty strip dips. And my bankroll kinda big dip. Woo. She gon' bring it on a big ship. Quite trail, no quick trip. I got dubs in the alley, no tip. Yeah. She just wanna have a good day. Smoke way more weed than the guy in LA. I hold them birds till next May. Never let them fly away. What? Hey. Listen what my nigga Tip say. Hey.
Yeah. Don't be blowing me up, nigga. I ain't getting up. If it ain't about the money, ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time. If it ain't about the money, nah, I can even hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. If it ain't about the money, bitch, you can miss me with it. Bitch, nigga, miss me with it. Turn.
I pack in 11, I pack in 11. Boom. I'm riding in the gator, my shoes are just 7. I'm sliding like the reverend, I shoot at the reverend. Hey. Bands out the grocery store, they stuff with ladies. Hey. She try make the extras, I tell on these bitches. Hey. When it's about time to pay, I'ma bill on these bitches.
What you think we in the neighborhood for? Standing at the corner store with a pocket full of dough.